Let's be real for a second. When you hear the words philosophy major, what's the first image that pops into your head? Is it someone in a dimly lit coffee shop, probably wearing a turtleneck, debating the meaning of existence? Yeah, we've all been there. But there's a huge, and I mean huge, gap between that stereotype and the actual reality. You've heard the cliches a million times, right? Philosophy majors are basically unemployable. They don't have any real skills for a world obsessed with tech, and they're definitely not going to make any money. That's the story we're all told.
But what if I told you that a whole bunch of data shows every single one of those assumptions is, well, just false, like completely and totally wrong?
So let's start with the biggest myth of them all. The idea that these graduates just can't get a job, because the data tells a very different story. Okay, take a look at this number, 4.3%. Any ideas what this could be? It's not the percentage of philosophy majors who can correctly pronounce Nietzsche on the first try. Nope. It's a number that completely shatters that first big myth. You got it. That's the unemployment rate for recent philosophy grads. And here's where it gets really wild. This number isn't just low, it's actually lower than the national average. And, believe it or not, it's lower than a lot of majors we all think of as the safe, practical choices. And this is where the story gets really interesting. This unemployment rate is lower than for folks who majored in math, economics, and even chemical engineering. Just let that sink in for a second. The so-called useless degree is actually outperforming some of the most respected fields when it comes to landing a job. So, if they're not all becoming professors, where in the world are they going? Well, pretty much everywhere. They're in business consulting firms, they're leading tech teams in Silicon Valley, they're on Wall Street, they're in government, journalism, law, medicine, you name it. They're the people designing things, publishing things, and creating things. All right, so this all brings up a really obvious question, doesn't it? How? I mean, what is it about studying philosophy that sets them up for success in so many different fields? What's their secret weapon? What are they learning that makes them so valuable in careers that seem, completely disconnected from what they studied? Okay, get ready for this. Check out this table of GRE scores. That's the big test for grad school. Philosophy majors, on average, score higher than every single other major on verbal reasoning and analytical writing. That's not a fluke. These students are trained day in and day out to think critically, to take apart complicated arguments, and to write with total precision. And this isn't just about acing a test. We're talking real-world skills. Carly Fiorina, the former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, said her philosophy degree taught her how to separate the wheat from the chaff and how to argue. I mean, come on. Those are essential boardroom skills right there. It's the same story in the heart of Silicon Valley. Stuart Butterfield, the guy who co-founded both Slack and Flickr, says his philosophy background gave him the tools to reason about things from the ground up. And that's exactly what you need to be an entrepreneur. It's about learning how to think, not just memorizing what to think. All right, so they get jobs, they've got amazing skills, but I know what you're thinking. What about the money? Let's finally put that starving philosopher stereotype to bed for good. So data from PayScale shows that right out of college, a philosophy major's median pay is solid, around $44,000. But just watch what happens by the time they hit their mid-career. That number skyrockets to over $85,000. Yeah, that's a salary increase of 101%. It's a massive jump. And it tells you everything you need to know about the long-term value of the skills they've built. Now, to put that in perspective, that 101% growth puts philosophy in the top 11% of all majors for salary growth. Their ability to think critically and solve complex problems just becomes more and more valuable as their careers go on. And just look at how they stack up against other fields. By mid-career, they're earning right alongside political science majors, and they're nipping at the heels of civil engineers. They're pulling in more than many other humanities degrees. The numbers just don't lie. But let's be honest, if you're drawn to studying philosophy in the first place, you already know the value isn't just about the paycheck. There's a much deeper bottom line. Because after we've looked at all the job data and all the salary charts, we get to what really matters. The true value here goes way beyond the numbers on a bank statement. For thousands of years, philosophy has been humanity's core tool for figuring things out. It's the practice of asking the biggest questions to help us live a life that's focused on what's true, what's real, and what's valuable. It's more than just a major. It's a way of approaching life. So I'll just leave you with this one question. In a world that's getting more complex by the second, a world that's changing faster than ever, what could possibly be more practical, more valuable, or more future-proof than the simple act of learning how to think?